Hey guys, it's Alex here from Alexify, and this is my review for the Samsung S20 Ultra 5G Exynos variant. This is the phone that I have been using since the release date, which today included, it will be a total of 2 months. This phone is great for the most part. There are many great things about this phone, and of course, there are some bad things as well. So let's start with the first thing, and that is the display itself. It's a 6.9 inches Quad HD Plus Dynamic AMOLED display with HDR10 Plus certified, and of course, that is silky smooth 120Hz refresh rate. It's colorful and very bright. It can get so bright to the point that it is uncomfortable to look at. But that also means the outdoor usage should be no problem for most people. So if you unbox the phone for the first time, in order to get that 120Hz refresh rate, you have to head to the setting, then display, and then scroll down to motion smoothness. Now keep in mind that the 120Hz will consume much more battery and also reduce the screen resolution to Full HD+, but again, in my opinion, I cannot see a big difference. This is simply the best display I have ever experienced with. Most of you guys probably know that Samsung has the best display on the market right now. And they also provide this display for some of the flagships such as iPhone, OnePlus, Oppo, Xiaomi, and many more. Next is the speed. Even though this is the Exynos variant, it is still a decent phone. And with 12 gigs of RAM, you can pin apps to the background so that it will keep on running. So what you do is go to the multitask window, hold on to the icon, and then keep open for quick launching. There. So now when you go back, it will continue where you left off. Lately I've been looking at the guinea pigs and hamster. They're so cute. It is good for gaming, but it is not great. And I will tell you why later in the video. Next we have sounds. This phone has one of the best stereo speakers out there. It is loud, clear, and crisp. Usually I have to connect my older phone to a Bluetooth speaker, but with this phone I never had to, because with, well, even below 50% volume, it is pretty loud, as you can see. So just to show you guys that my volume is below 50, well, let's go even lower than that.
So today, Jeannie and I are going on a hot and steamy date like we always do in every vlog.
So as you guys can see, I'm watching MXR Plays. He's one of the best YouTuber out there. And recently they just got the 1 million subscribers, so congrats to them. I hope one day I can do it as well. And here, if you go above 50%, I think it's gonna be so loud.
Ride my longboard. Still my main means of transportation. No car yet.
Yes, this is really loud. My neighbor is gonna kill me. Next is software. The S20 Ultra runs Android 10 and with the One UI 2.1 skin. The UI is much more simple and I would say it's quite beautiful. And the animation is fluid. It also brings many features such as quick share, music share, and live caption. Also, I noticed that we get regular firmware update for bugs and security patches, which is much needed for this phone. Next is build quality and design. The build quality of the S20 Ultra is top-notch. It is on par with Apple iPhone 11 Pro Max or any flagship phones out there. It has some weight to it, which makes it feel premium to hold. Also, previously on the older Samsung phone, the screen curves too much, so it caused a lot of accidental touches. However, I think this time, I feel that Samsung actually perfected the amount of curves. It is just right. So now I barely have accidental touches. It also has the SD card slot, which is right here, and I'm so glad that they include it, and I hope all the manufacturers include SD card slots as well. In terms of durability, if you happen to drop this phone on the hard surface, chances are you might break it because, you know, glass is glass. And this is why I have a case on and it will never come off. Now, with the recent news on how the rear camera glass breaks without any reason, I can't comment on that since I never had this happen to me, but with this in mind, I would put a lens protector on it, which you can check out on my previous video, right here. So I heard many people actually complain about the ugly design and call the camera bump the abomination. In my opinion, I think the camera bump never was an issue to me because I always put on the clear case and it's kind of balanced it out. And with the amount of cameras on it, I think they did a good job on it already. And with the case on, you put on a flat surface like this, and say if you were typing or something like that, it doesn't rock, it's just balanced out. So I think the overall quality and feel is just simply superb. And lastly, the camera. The S20 Ultra has a good camera, as you guys see in these images. And with the recent update, it focus hunting a little less, but it is not completely fixed, especially when the subject is not in the middle. It also has a great zoom range. So let's get on with the bad side, and that is the chipset. So as you guys can see in the title, this is the Exynos variant, and there's a lot of problems with this variant, starting with the speed. Okay, by no means this is a slow phone, okay? But it does not perform well consistently. Let me show you guys. So as you guys can see, I ran the GFX tool for the PUBG Mobile. And this program is actually make the PUBG run much smoother and much faster. So this is a footage of me playing PUBG. And keep in mind that, again, I also ran the GFX tool to make the game run even smoother. And at the beginning, of course, it starts with the smooth gameplay. But as you guys can see, later on, within the first match, the temperature will rise to a really high degree. So up to this point, I'm pretty sure that you guys would notice the drop in frame rates and the game starting to lag, but it's still bearable, it's not too bad. But again, this is just not a long session. So when we get to this point where we start to drive, and as you guys can see, it's starting to lag even more, and I think the frame rates start to drop drastically, as you guys can see. I mean, I don't think it should perform this way because I didn't put the quality of this game to the highest level. I put it at the medium at best, and it's quite annoying, and it's really hard to play this game when it's like I can't aim properly. And okay, I'm not the best at this game, but it's just killing the gameplay experience. So this is after the first gameplay session, and as you guys can see, the temperature rises to the high level of 41.5 degrees Celsius. Another bad thing about this phone, and this affects my daily usage, is the battery. I cannot stress enough about the poor optimization of the Exynos variant. I feel that it does not run efficiently and effectively compared to the Snapdragon version that North American market received. Even though this is a 5000 mAh battery, with my moderate use, I can say that my battery life experience is not so good, especially when the 120Hz display is on, unfortunately. So as you guys can see here in my settings, I can show you my battery. See, the average is not high. Sometimes I get like 5 hours or even 4 hours. See, I have to charge very often, or else it just doesn't last long. Now this is my last point on the bad part, which is the camera. Don't get me wrong, this is a great camera, but as most of you guys may have heard, both the Exynos and the Snapdragon variant have the focus hunting issue even after the latest update. You can check out my focusing issue video, which is right here. So compared to my iPhone X, I feel that it can handle the focusing much better than the S20 Ultra. And the iPhone X is a 3-year-old phone. Another thing that's bothering me is the blur when I take a close-up photo. See, I personally do not understand why taking such a simple close-up photo would distort the quality. Usually I have to take a photo of a document or even some notes. And the photo always have to blur out outside of the center area. So just to show you what I mean, I'll be comparing the photo between iPhone X and the S20 Ultra. The S20 Ultra will be on the left and the iPhone X will be on the right. So you notice that when I zoom into the middle part, everything is clear, there's no blur. But then when you go to the upper part, you can see that it is blurred out, and I will understand why. And now we're gonna do the exact same thing with the iPhone X. And as you guys can see, the middle part is clear, and then when we move to the top part, it's also clear. There's no difference. So again, we're doing the same thing. Zoom into the middle part and it's all clear, and you can see on the right it's a little bit blurred out. And now that we move to the top part, clearly it is blurred out. And here is the iPhone X. Again, we zoom in, it's all clear all around. And then when we move to the top, again, every single thing is clear. And I think this is how it should be. Other than that, there are some things that I wish Samsung would improve in the near future. First thing is, make the fingerprint sensor bigger. I mean, there's companies like Huawei, OnePlus, they make their fingerprint sensor much bigger and it's much easier to use. Second, include the 45-watt fast charging in the box. Don't make us buy it. Third, keep the dual pixel autofocus on all models. Fourth, I hope they make the 90Hz refresh rate as an option. It will help a lot with the battery. Fifth, please add more color option. You see how S20 get cosmic gray, cloud blue, and cloud pink? Why not make all the colors choices available to every single model, since everyone is different? I mean, if there was a choice, of course I would prefer the cloud pink. I mean, it's beautiful. Lastly, I hope that news about the AMD partner with the Exynos chip. Well, I hope the hype is real, and there have been some benchmarks, and apparently it outperformed the Snapdragon 865. Well, this concludes my review for the S20 Ultra 5G. Let me know your thought about it on the comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, please give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay strong. Cheers!